Hey guys, Ezekiel Gentle here. I wanted to talk to you about my experience in LA. I'm moving very soon, and I may have moved by the time you've watched this, but I've been here almost 7 years, and in that time, a lot of change has happened, a lot of amazing experiences have happened. So I want to tell you about 3 times I experienced something in LA that changed my life forever. The first one is ultimately when I left Christianity. I was raised by Baptist missionaries in Africa, and after that, I was raised in an evangelical Baptist community all the way until I was in my mid-20s. I was a devout Christian and very active in the faith and took it very seriously, very earnestly. And a lot of the people I was around did as well, and there were a lot of amazing experiences. I have no doubt about that. I have no question about that. In fact, I don't even question some of the mysticism that I saw, some of the supernatural events that I saw. I still know they were real. But here's what's interesting. The human mind and the human body are incredibly powerful. And at the same time, we can be incredibly reductive. What I mean by that is we may not want to know how powerful we are for fear of greater chaos. So if we can settle for something that makes us feel okay about things in the moment, then that may be enough to settle the chaos for a while. And I don't think that's bad. I don't regret my time being a Christian. I don't regret any church service I ever went to. I don't regret any conversation I ever had with somebody about Jesus or the Holy Spirit, because it was coming from a place of honesty. It was coming from a place of integrity. And when you're talking to people about eternity and their soul, they can tell when you care. They can tell when you have some kind of agenda, or I need to check this box so I know I saved a soul. A lot of people I was around were probably, this is a guess, in that religion and that faith for a reason of their own that didn't have anything to do with our shared reasons. You know, we all have reasons that are in common, right? We all want to live in the same places for similar reasons. We all want to have the kind of future for similar reasons, but there are also huge reasons we never talk about, that we never really air out. And one of those, I think, in Christianity is our family of origin. Mine was ruptured when I was 7. My parents divorced. And I had this vacuum, this need for a father figure. I didn't know it at the time, but staying in church gave me access to many, many, many different men who were father figures. Now, that, luckily for me, didn't end up in me being preyed upon by men. Thank God. But there were people around me who were. And, you know, it's pretty sad when you can kind of look at somebody's church experience and predict whether there was a predator in their life or not. And I'm not just talking about sexual predators, but I am. I'm also talking about people who prey on the minds of the youth, who prey on the vulnerabilities of the youth to get this kind of access and conversation and intimacy that they really couldn't or wouldn't or shouldn't have otherwise. So one of the things I wanted to just end with on that is kind of the value of church is different for everybody. The value of belief is different for everybody. We aren't all looking for the same thing right now. We're not all trying to achieve the most objective reality. What can we say with definite terms is reality, and then that's what I'll go towards? That's not really what we're doing. Everybody's in a cycle of their own. We're all in these hypnotic rhythms. We're all experiencing our family of origin, our childhood from our family of origin over and over again. So some of us have become aware of those cycles, and we're working on them, and we're kind of slowly being able to claw back at the effects of those cycles. But some of us aren't doing that at all. We're actually still in the cycle itself, and we think that it's happening to us. We think that we are the victim. But if you're over 18 years old, if you're not held against your will, and if you have freedom of choice, then do not allow yourself to be the victim. Do not allow other people to victimize you, no matter what they say they may need. If you're feeling empty and left, if you're left feeling empty, if you're left feeling like you just compromised your values to give this person what they want or need, that's not good for you. And all it's going to do is reaffirm that that's how you should feel. Keep giving to people that don't give back. I know this because I did this. I grew up with a malignant narcissist, a chronic narcissist who couldn't help himself but to try to control everything. And I developed this huge repertoire of behaviors, coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms that I didn't realize until later in life were so critical to my life. They're beneficial in the sense that you can recognize narcissism, but they're detrimental in the sense that you're over-policing the people you meet, looking for something that's not there. So then, with that projection into the environment, of course it's going to come to the surface. It's going to be created because it's on your mind so heavily. You're looking for this, right and left. One caveat to this is relationships. If you're a single person, you have 100% control of who you're around. If you're in a couple, in a relationship, you and your partner are on your own journeys of your energies being cleaned up, being or not cleaned up, but you're both on your own paths. So my question for you is, if you're in a partnership, how and when do you guys make the change to, it's going to happen subconsciously anyway, but tell me about a time when you and your partner both had to talk about one of your friend groups. Tell me about a time when you had to say to your partner, hey, I don't think that friend's good for you. Tell me about a time when your partner told you, hey, I don't know if this person's good for you. I don't like the way they talk to you. This is the kind of thing that somebody who really loves you should be able to do. Like, hey, I feel like they talk down to you. The first time I heard somebody tell me, we see the way he talks to you, in regards to somebody who's very near and dear to me, I just realized, like, oh my God, like I've been kind of dismissing this in my head this whole time, but really it's actually happening. They're actually degrading me, and I'm just telling myself a story to make myself deal with it. So don't tell yourself a story to just survive and deal with it. When you're a kid, you have to. When you're in a situation that you can't get out of, you have to just survive. But if you're out of this environment where you had to survive, slowly start to look at your behaviors and look at what you're doing to keep your mindset where you want it to be. Do you want to always be looking out for a threat constantly? Or do you want to be able to relax? I want to be able to relax, but that's just me. We're going to go into another little segment here. One of the other experiences I had in Los Angeles was my experience as a professional working in cafes that were some of the best in the world, working at Apple stores, working at some of the best production sets in Hollywood, from HBO to FX, ABC, and great commercials as well. I just had so many experiences with people that taught me what I put out is what I get. That's just how it is. What I put out is what I get. And the universe doesn't care if I'm putting out a vibration on accident or not. It doesn't care if I'm putting out a vibration out of hurt or pain or not. The universe is just there as this objective thing where it's like, okay, Ezekiel, you're feeling sad for yourself? Okay, well, we're going to send you something that's going to make you feel sad for yourself. You see how that works? Okay, Ezekiel, you're feeling like there should be more conflict in your life because that's what you're used to, and your baseline of conflict and chaos isn't back to the threshold you're used to. All right, we'll send you some chaos. We'll send you somebody to get in a fight with, to get in an argument with. You see what I mean? It's really, really subtle, but it's there. So deep, deep, deep down, the thought you're having that you carry into your day to set that vibration forward, that's what's going to set the difference, make the difference in your day and who you attract. Here's the flip side. When you do experience something negative and you know your vibration is good and you know you're sending out good energy, don't take it personally and don't reverse engineer it. What did I do to create this? Because then you're assigning fault to yourself. And that's almost as bad as us just not taking the initiative at all in the first place. So give yourself the freedom to just breathe, be aware, and then move into your day knowing that, sorry guys, it's downtown LA, what can I tell you? But move into your day knowing that you're grateful and responsible for the good that's coming into your life, and that anything that is not good is not necessarily your fault. Don't assume that it is. This is a big problem that I think I made when I was first getting into this. So to wrap up this point too, is my work experience in LA just taught me that people can be good and can be phenomenal, but they're only going to meet you at the level that you want to meet them. I was a production assistant. I was the lowest on the totem pole in so many circles, but because I put out good energy, because I was willing to be respectful and interesting and engaging and do my job, I made amazing connections. I met some amazing people that really shouldn't have had anything to do with me necessarily. I was just there to kind of do a specific thing, but I took my job, every job I've ever had, I've taken it extremely seriously. And it's interesting because a lot of companies, even though they say they want hard workers, they don't want somebody who's actually bought into the vision to the point that they'll do more. They want somebody to do what they'll say. And that's part of the big transition we're seeing in business right now, and Hollywood is no exception. Old Hollywood and new Hollywood are still transitioning into this difference between, basically, you have old production styles where you have an assistant director, you have a production crew on set, and you have the typical DGA and SAG rules, but then in a newer set, let's say if it's non-union, you might have not only background actors, but all kinds of crew and cast that are not part of the group, that are not part of the unions, and so a non-union shoot would then break away from the old school Hollywood. One final point here, one final touch on this is, in Los Angeles, I did learn to love myself. I learned to love myself because in realizing that I was controlling my destiny, I was controlling what's happening around me, I slowly started to reinvest love into myself. If you invest in stocks at all, you know what a DRIP account is, a direct reinvestment profit. I'm not sure what the P stands for, but a DRIP account. If you Google that, every dividend that stock gives you, a DRIP account setting will take that dividend and reinvest it. Just going to reinvest it into that stock. So every time you get a dividend from that stock paying out, boom, goes right back in. So your share, or how much stock you have there is increasing. Same thing with self-love. Every excess self-love, you have some extra time, you have some extra energy, some extra compassion, give yourself some self-love. Do something for yourself that either takes the edge off or gives you some relaxation or gives you some self-love. It's really up to you, but it's so important you do something. Nobody can know if you're doing this. This is only up to you. You have to just commit to yourself that you're going to do something for yourself. And this is where self-love is going to begin to blossom. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. This has been Ezekiel Gentle, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care of yourself. And please, if you've enjoyed this video, give me a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.